Hello, welcome back to the channel. So this is me talking about what rules we're going to use to guide our sort of Cold War Gone Hot Team Yankee project in the War Games Club, the ACVC War Games Fellowship. So the general consensus at our club is we didn't want to use the Team Yankee Flames of War rules. Now I think everybody's got slightly different opinions on that. I think the general consensus is a lot of it gets used in tournament play and stuff. You look at a lot of the resources Facebook groups, they're talking about like maximum builds, arguing over points values, that sort of stuff, optimum build. That's not what we're about in the club. I understand how some people might enjoy that style of gaming. We're after a more kind of historical, sometimes easier play, less about the sort of competitive element, and we're a very social club. That's why we're called the War Games Fellowship. But actually, to their credit, Battlefront do amazing books. I mean, I don't play Flames of War, but I've collected all the third edition, second and third edition Flames of War hardback books. I like looking at the sort of organizational guides, put history, coloured photos of really nice 15mm models, especially now you can pick them up cheap as chips on Tinternet. But anyway, so just to give you an idea of the rule books, lovely, full colour throughout. Background, so I think Flames of War Battlefront partnered up with Team Yankee, the book, the author, so some of these stories based on that. Something I do intend to read. I'm a 80s kid, grew up in the 80s. My first memories, TV memories, was the Mary Rose getting raised, the troops coming back from the Falklands, going down the library and reading Protect and Survive. So the Cold War did stick with us. So when we were talking about doing Cold War Gone Hot, I was in, committed. So yeah, nice hardback rule book, and these actually books were sent to us by Battlefront for the charity. I've just borrowed them today for this video, which actually segues nicely into another video I did the other day, which was like, when is too soon to do our conflict and wargaming? And I do spend a lot of time with military veterans, and certainly none of them have expressed that they didn't like this being represented in models and tabletop. Maybe it's because it's a theoretical conflict as opposed to one that occurred. Set as a Soviet book, and again, lots of nice detail about how different formations would work in the field. Quite nice reading. Couple of things to point out, actually. This is quite funny. McPizza King, fast food restaurant. That's a thing as well with the sort of Cold War Gone Hot, a chance to do some sort of modern building. The other thing is, I don't know if you can see this Soviet unit here, the ammo for the AKs there, painted red. I hadn't painted mine red, but that looks pretty cool. I think I'm going to copy that. And then into the force organizations. Again, loads of really nice detail just about how the armies were formed and performed during the era. And it's the same again for the Americans. American supplement. So, nice background, full colour throughout. Like I say, Flames of War, Battlefront do beautiful books. Helicopters, something we'll talk about later. So if we weren't going to do Team Yankee, what rules would we use? So we're still in the discovery phase. We're still kind of deciding what rules we want to use. So Carronade, or was it? No, it was Claymore. Bought this from Pendraken. I'm really disappointed. Bought it from Pendraken. Reading it on the train, in my bag. Being in Scotland, rain occurs in August, and I get soaking wet. And within 2 days, 3 days of me buying this, it's been water damage. Nothing to do with Pendraken, everything to do with me. So what I like about the Cold War Commander rules. So played a couple of World War II games. we play a lot of Black Powder in the club. And Black Powder has command rules, because it's based out War Master. So the Commander series of games has the War Master sort of command rule mechanic, which we really like in the club. We like having that friction. Do the orders go through? Have the orders been obeyed? Are the orders being understood? So it's got that which we're used to. The other thing which is pretty good about this set of rules is you kind of, when you're building your force, you're buying everything's individual. I think each one's meant to represent a section or a platoon. So they can operate individually, which we wanted Cold War battlefields to kind of look and feel a bit like Cold War battlefields. Certainly there's a lot of videos on YouTube. British Army of the Rhine and stuff, training videos, American training videos, looking at how tanks would form up in isolation with each other. There's a really good one which is about bridge defense unit. I can't find the link just now, but I will try and find the link. So it's a British company defending a bridge, allowing troops to withdraw over it and then demolish it. So they've got like 2 tanks forward, 1 tank back, platoon forward, platoon on the bridge, platoon defending the rear area, and it's a kind of hypothetical Soviet attack on them. Marvelous stuff. So actually having that depth, individual elements kind of come forward in Cold War Commander. Loads of army lists online as well, loads of kit in it. So that's a possibility. And the other set of rules we'll have to look at, one I think I've talked about on this channel before, Battle Group Northag. So obviously this came out during a lockdown. So what I like about this is the way the battle sort of builds up. It looks like a fairly simple set of rules. And the danger is that with modern warfare, with loads of different weapon types, it gets overcomplicated. But what I like about it is the way the battle fights. So you have like your initial sort of screening scout units on the board. Then you're going to have different elements of your force turning up at different times, which kind of feels like a bigger battle developing. The other thing you have is reinforcement rolls. So that kind of gives you the feeling that you're part of a bigger battle and you're having to go up to higher command to see what they'll send you. So you can't quite be guaranteed what will turn up. Now, quite a bit of stuff can turn up, so which could swing the game based on a few dice rolls. But hey, such is the nature of modern war. You could always tone that down if you wanted. One of the disadvantages is the formations are very set in it. So, for example, you buy 10 Soviet tanks. It should be easy to work out if you wanted to use smaller formations than that. Just alter the points accordingly. Because I think as the campaign will go on, most formations would start suffering breakdowns and losses. So the initial rules is just the British Army of the Rhine fighting the Soviets, but they did bring out Centag, which has Warsaw Pact, American forces, everything else we would need for a Cold War gone hot battlefield. The other thing we're looking at is obviously the breakout of the Fulda Gap is really interesting. One of the things Cold War Commander gives us the opportunity to do is maybe play around with different nations, historic in our own, not historic, in our own sort of made up histories. What happened if there was like a communist pushback after Glasnost, and there's like a communist counter coup which takes back over and maybe they invade some neighbouring republics, that sort of stuff. So that's where we are with the rules at the moment. Probably going to give Battle Group a run out first, see how that looks and feels. We've got plenty of Americans and Soviet stuff getting built up in the club. Cold War Commander, probably a fan favourite as well. And hey, you know what? We'll have the kit, so we can always give Battlefront Team Yankee a shout as well. But that's where we are with rules with the project. So I'll let you know how we get on. One of the beauties of being in the War Games Club is there's people to play. So that gives you an impetus to get stuff built and painted. One of the disadvantages is, like I said before, we're like we're like primary school kids, sometimes chasing a ball. So who knows what the next big thing will be in a couple of months. I know it's start of September, well, mid-September as I record this. You know, Bot Action version 3 is going to come out towards the end of the month. So presumably September, October, we'll be playing Bot Action 3. I must admit, I thought I'd be more excited about Bot Action 3 than I am. But we'll see how I feel when it pops up. 15 mil is currently king for me. But anyway, that's everything I've got to say in this video, and I look forward to chatting to you in another video. That's goodbye for now. Goodbye.